welcome to Air Summit. It's so great that we can be finally together again, and we're getting back to normality. Really looking forward to continue like that. We are quite a lot of people. More people will come throughout the day. We had more than 200 participants signing up for this event, which is great. Our first Air Summit ever. And we have people from Sweden, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands. We have from Finland and UK, and certainly people from Norway too. And most of you are partners of Airthings, or Airthings is partners of you. That's what we call partners. We also have industry specialists. We have some analysts here. And we have potential new partners and customers for Airthings and other partners. What we see is that indoor air quality has never been as high on the agenda as it is now. And we don't think that's going to change. This is just going to increase, and the awareness about air quality is going to increase drastically over the coming years. That's how we see it. And the Airthings business model, how we build this company now, is really based on working with partners. And we will only be successful when our partners are successful. So we also really need your feedback. What can we do better to make you more successful? How can we make sure you win more? How can we make it easier for you to grab market shares and grow your business? That's really what we want to do, and that's what we want to support. I think we'll learn a lot more about that today, how we can do that. But please be curious, talk to us, ask questions, talk to your peers, talk to people, and see what we can do better together. And be demanding. It's when you're demanding, we'll also deliver more. So always be demanding when you talk to people from Airthings. You'll see Airthings people with their badges. There's some yellow badges, and see their names. And if they can't answer your questions, then you will they will point you in the right direction. Just a few words about Airthings. That's not what we're going to talk so much about today, but just a few words. And it's really exciting times for Airthings. We have built an amazing team, and we are creating some really great products and solutions. It's all focused on air quality. That's what we do every day. That's what the whole company is built around, is air quality, and also making buildings more energy efficient. Many of you are now helping us, supporting us with tenders around the world at schools, monitoring air quality at schools. We just had this win in Quebec with all the private schools there with a 10-year contract. And we see this is just the beginning. We are seeing these tenders going on all around Europe and North America. And this is just the beginning of kind of a much bigger focus on air quality in schools and offices around the world moving forward. We have a really exciting roadmap of products and solutions and features coming out over the coming years and over the coming months. We're always scaling up to go faster, run faster, build better products for you all. And later today, we will launch a new product that I think will help you win more, make it easier for you to win even more. It's very exciting. We are launching that after lunch today. Paul will talk more about that around 2:30. And at Airthings, the company is scaling rapidly, and this year we will produce more than 300,000 products. And we set the bar very high for quality in what we do, and we're investing heavily in our software solutions and features and services. But utilizing this high volume production that we have in the consumer segments is really helping us as well to be cost efficient in the commercial segment. So utilizing R&D, having high quality products that can scale between consumer business and B2B is something that we all can gain from. And as you heard, there are challenges in the semiconductor industry now. There's long lead times. We see several of our competitors in this space actually can't produce anymore right now. They're raising their prices. We are able to deliver. Our factories are running full speed, but still not enough. I mean, we're not able to build inventory right now. So it's important to always place your orders quickly because it's first in, first out. But it's end of the quarter now. No. But we are running the factories full speed, but still also there's challenges for sure in getting enough products. So why are we here? We spend 90% of our time indoors. There's never been so many people affected by air quality, and there's so many people with allergy and asthma. It's never been before. Indoor air quality is on average 2 to 5 times worse than outdoor air. And people don't have much clue about this, don't know much about it. There is some more awareness now pre-COVID, which is driving certainly some more awareness, because we know that transmitting of viruses is heavily affected by the air quality. We breathe 15 kilos of air per day, and we eat maybe half a kilo or 1 kilo of food. So I think people will get more and more aware as we move forward how big effect this has on all of us. We also see that more than 40,000 people die of radon-induced lung cancer every year in US and Europe. We find radon so many places. It's very weird. Just last year, we had on 14th floor of a building in Augsburg, Germany, was super high radon levels. They called us, they wanted to evacuate the building, and we found some wrong with the ventilation system. We could fix it. But radon, you will find the most surprising places. And we see that air quality is really starting to go mainstream. I mean, there's just the last couple of weeks, there's been so many news clips from about air quality. COVID gives us a chance to fix indoor air pollution forever. Let's see, from Wired magazine. This is from Vox. We have from Radon Alert. We have New York Times have had numerous articles, and especially all this research going on at Harvard University with Joseph Allen and the team. Your office air is making you more stupid. It affects your cognitive performance. It's big effect. And even the Sun in UK is talking about radon gas and how dangerous that is. And that really says something when that this is going mainstream. We run a study as well and found some interesting results. Almost nobody knows much about air and how to improve it. Like here in the UK, where almost everybody don't know how to monitor the air or how to improve it if it's bad air quality inside. Also from this study, we found that 50% of the people in Canada are concerned about air quality in their homes and offices and schools. Same in Germany, more or less 50%. While in Norway, not so much, because they think in Norway they're having mountains with fresh airs and fjords and think they're so healthy, while the air quality in Norway is not any better inside the homes, offices, and schools than any other places. We also looked at some of the data from our cloud during the lockdowns. We could very easily see March of 2020 that the air quality in people's homes got much worse. People thought they were breathing much healthier air because you saw it on the news. The factory stopping, the traffic was stopping, you could see blue skies, while the air quality at people's homes had never been as bad. People were sitting home office, homeschooling, dogs, cats, whatever else in their homes all day, and we've never seen as bad air quality. Both in Norway, in US, we could see every city, every country, exactly when they went into lockdowns. And we see also in the data that almost every home or building that we are monitoring, every classroom, have problems with the air and air quality over time. It can be the CO2, radon gas, it can be virus risk, mold risk, chemicals in the air. It could be just very high humidity, very dry humidity. And we see a lot of buildings are wasting so much energy, running HVAC and ventilation, heating in areas where there's no people. And I think this is what we can all do together to build better solutions, to make the planet more energy efficient, make buildings better, and also make sure people are breathing healthier air. So with that, that's, I think, what we're here for. Yes.
That is what we're here for. And now, Øyvind has many talents. However, he has not won any Olympic medals.
No.
No, not even one world championship title. But don't worry, everybody, because he is going to be joined on stage now by Axelene Zvendell, the chairman of the Airthings board and former Norwegian World Cup alpine ski racer.
Øyvind and everyone else speaking here is going to do a much better job talking about the details within Airthings as a company, and also the partners will talk about that, and we have professionals to talk about the prop tech ecosystem. But I have a history of breathing a lot of fresh air, as you can see. I used to spend almost all my time outdoors. However, I'm retired, so my life is much more, I don't know if normal is the right word, but definitely spend a lot more time indoors.
So you have spent your entire career skiing,
yeah,
breathing a lot of fresh air, as you
which
said.
Doesn't make me qualified to talk about fresh air, but yeah.
But what are you up to these days?
Yeah, well, so I was, in a way, I was fortunate. I mean, it was bad situations because I had a lot of injuries, forced me to spend much more time outside of the mountains and the ski slopes. And during those years, I was quite active, and I was lucky to meet at least what I thought was smart people. And one of those guys were Øyvind. Now we're here 5-6 years later, and turns out he was pretty smart, because a lot has happened in Airthings, or actually Corentium, as the name was back then.
Yes.
Since when we first met, and where we are now. And when Øyvind says he wants everyone to be demanding, then from the board side, this is really good news, because Øyvind and his team, they're very good at delivering on targets. So if he calls out for everyone to be demanding, and he raises the bar, and he always delivers on his targets, then it's looking very promising for Airthings also for the future, I would say.
Yeah, let's see. Thank you.
You said it. Be demanding.
Yeah. But so what have you learned, kind of, since you came into this?
Well, I think my journey with Airthings is not too different from a consumer journey. Well, if you step back when it was purely about radon gas, then you think about radon gas, and you read the stats, but somehow you kind of can't believe the stats. Like we saw today in Europe and the US, there's 41,000 people every year dying of cancer that can be related back to breathing radon gas. And somehow you're thinking, this can't be true, because if this was true, we would know much more about it. We would be much more educated. If this is the second biggest cause of lung cancer after smoking. So basically, if you're not smoking, then this is the biggest risk you have. Why don't we know more about this? But then when you start to read about it, it is true, but it's also true that if I had radon in my home, I would think in one way, I need to sell this home because this is not good. Like my home is worthless. On the other side, if you have it and you sell it and you're not informing the new buyer, that's not going to work either. But the thing is, it doesn't need to be so hard to fix. So just that learning from how much radon gas we have in buildings, and this was Norway that I started looking into first, and how easy it actually is to monitor it. And once you monitor it, you can actually fix it. And I think that's what Airthings is also about now. You've taken that from radon and into general indoor air quality, is that once we know stuff, we can try to fix it. If you have good data, you can actually fix the problem and not just kind of paint over it. Because even Øyvind said that he just installed a brand new ventilation system in his apartment, and he's done so because the air quality wasn't too good.
Yeah, it was bad.
Exactly. So, and then you need to know what's bad and how do we fix this? Because I think that's something that a lot of people take for granted. If there is ventilation system, and in people's homes is one thing, but maybe even more so in a commercial building, you think there's good air. But sadly, what Øyvind and the team and Paul talk about this later sees a lot is that it can be really good in a couple of areas in the building, but maybe the rooms and areas where you and your employees spend the most time, the air can still be horrible. So in getting the real data, we can also dive into the problems, and usually it's not too hard to fix them, but we just need to know what we're attacking before we're doing it, or you guys need to know what you're attacking.
And we see this even in new buildings today, that we had some, even the public health of Norway moved into a new building and was horrible air quality. So we see it so many places, existing buildings, new buildings, where there's a HVAC system running and you believe it's good, but many times it's not. So it's about monitoring and understanding what's going on and doing the right adjustments.
But one difference that I have noticed, and this is probably also because I'm touch more interested than the average people sitting in that office building, is that at now where I usually spend the afternoon at 5 o'clock, the system actually shuts off, which it didn't used to. So it's gotten smart enough to save energy, at least. It doesn't fix the room, the air quality in every room, but at least they're saving energy. So it's one step forward.
Yeah, and hopefully that's going to spread to more buildings. And I mean, you're working with many companies and many tech companies, and you've been working with tech companies and brands around the world. And we see now in Norway and Oslo, there's a really kind of exciting tech scene. And what's special with Norway now? Because it used to be like oil and gas only, and now suddenly there's like a lot of exciting companies in PropTech and in many other areas.
Well, I think first of all, even if oil and gas is, we look at it now and we talk about oil and gas as this horrible thing, but of course for Norway as a society, it's been really good when we look at our quality of life. And Norway's a rich country. We've been lucky. But what I think is interesting is a lot of the qualities that we've built in Norway. Basically, the quality of life. When you take all this, take this city for instance. You're on the fjord. You have marka. So basically, for everyone who doesn't speak Norwegian, it's like our romantic way of saying the woods. So you basically have the woods outside of your door. You have the fjord outside of your door. You have a good work-life balance. I think we have, even if politics are getting more crazy in Norway as well, it's still fairly normal compared to a lot of other countries in the world. There's a lot of things that's at least more right or better about Norway compared to some of the other places in the world. And looking back, I think one of the reasons why you always thought that the US would dominate the world is that they have the coolest companies and they can pay the most money to the smartest people in the world. They'll attract the best talent and hence they'll win. I think people now are driven by slightly different values. Maybe the pay is a little bit lower, but there's other things that's really attractive about living in Norway. And since talent is the most important thing to create value and to build a good company, then it's a big. I mean, of course, we're focusing on this in Norway now too, but I think it's also a big structural happening in the world that is playing to our favor, and why I'm very optimistic when it comes to Norway and the future, even if we're not gonna, pump fossil fuels out of the bottom of the ocean. I think there's a lot of other cool things we can do. And that being said, the whole sector we see as just oil and gas, there's a lot of tech in there as well that has just been branded oil and gas because it's been happening on the bottom of the ocean. So we're really well positioned. And in that, I have to say, it's cool to walk around the Airthings office because.
Yeah, so what do you see special with Airthings?
It's like you're not in Norway, which is, I just talked really highly about Norway, so now I'm saying it's a good thing you're not in Norway, but it's no disadvantage, on top of all the other things I said, it's no disadvantage. And one, you already built an international culture and a team that's really diverse. I think over 30 different nationalities work for Airthings. So it says something about the culture at Airthings, but also if you're looking for an expert within a certain field, you're actually able to recruit from all over the world. This, I think, Airthings plus being in Oslo, it's a winning combination, but it helps a lot to do something meaningful. And when you're working to help people breathe better air, I think that's very meaningful, and that's also why you guys are able to attract really, really good talent. So, I mean, we can't invite all of you to the Airthings office later for drinks, even if there will be drinks. There will probably not be at the office. Would be in breach of some Corona rules as well, I'm sure. But we're a group here now. We're speaking English, but still, there's probably the big overweight here is Norwegians. We're much as a male compared to female here. It's very off balance, sorry to say. But if you walk around the Airthings office, you'd be really surprised. And it's kind of, you walk out on the street right after. You walk out if you walk across the street to the park, Slottsparken, and you kind of realize you're back in Norway because it's a really international vibe at the office, and I think that's important. It's really important, but it's also something that I see at every board meeting, that actually one of the things that you speak about. So it says something about also high up it is on the agenda for the management. So again, do you know the details much better, but looking like from semi outside, that's one of the things that impresses me the most.
Very well. Very good to have you here, Aksel. We're going to have an exciting day. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. And I would say another round of applause to Øyvind and the rest of the team that you will meet later, because the journey that he just showed on the slide, but that's been very impressive, when it comes to products and just building the company. It's
just the beginning.
It's just the beginning, and I'm happy again. He's setting the bar high, and with this history of delivering on his goals, then this is good news. But the proof is also in what you guys have done so far. So excited to be a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.